Okay, I am working at home right now, preparing for today's presentation, and I have opened Nico's drawing. So last week we commended him on having a really nice project, and I've just opened it up, and I'm going to test basically what I want to show you today during Tuesday 4 p.m. presentation. So the only remaining things for your final project is annotation, dimensioning, line weights, and then clearing up any issues that you still need to fix after the feedback on your midterms. So looking at Nico's file, looks to me that he's got all of his project in one file. So that's one of the way of doing it, and actually it is preferred for laying out a layout sheet for ArchD and A1 size plot. So let's start with that, and then maybe we'll create another video for dimensioning and notes and annotation, so they're not that long in time. So if you started your project from a template, the way we were doing it throughout the semester, it came with the layout, and that looks like this. And you can love it or hate it, but it has attributes set for drawing number and date. You have space for various revisions. That's how professional drawings are actually done in the office. They're issued for different at different times for different reasons. We have discussed the title block design. You're handing this in today, and let's have a look at the other layouts that Nico has. So he has site plan, basement, main, roof plan, 3D roof plan, front and back elevations, and north and south elevations. So today, after the due date, he will probably have another tab called house section. I would suggest that for your final, you do split elevations, because you can't fit all of the footing information, and the new addition should have information with regards to your design for the addition. Foundation walls and footings, and how you connect it to whether it's excavated, not excavated, and your wall section should also show the new construction that you propose there. So I want to start with designing ArchD, but also I want to do A1 plot based on the way we were designing our layouts. So I am going to go to Nico's site plan, and he has, this is his midterm, so because title block is due today, actually he has a pretty nice title block that wasn't due yet. So hopefully he was my AutoCAD student and already knows how to do this from last year. So let's look at the contents. We have project title, drawing number at the right bottom corner. We have the sheet title. We have office that is designing the drawing. We have the name of the person that's producing drawing, and I would greatly appreciate and require that you give me your last name, possibly first. Some of your names are difficult to tell which one is last name, which one isn't last name, so I really would like to see last name and then maybe your first initial. We must have a scale. In this case, site plan is 1/16. Date, that's good. Yes, date is good. I think this particular title block has everything. I already also see that Nico has fixed his viewport, so that if we go inside of it and we pan, it does not show through the title block. So this is what I was teaching you so far, and it is perfect. So if I go back to paper space, what I'm going to do is I am going to try to copy this title block on A1 size sheet. Okay, so we will work with ArchD as well, but for your final project, I would like to create ArchD size PDF file and A1 from scratch PDF file. So if we click on any layout tab, we can say new layout. So this time we have nothing to copy. We can't use anything here. So I am going to create a new layout, but I'm just thinking about something. Maybe potentially we could copy and change the page. I'm going to try this. I've always started from the new layout, but why don't we copy the site plan, create a copy, okay, and then rename it to A1 plot. Oops, I have AI. A1 and it looks the same like site plan, but I'm going to do it differently than I've always done it before. So if I go to Page Setup Manager and I will say modify it, I still want to plot to PDF, but I want to go to A1 plot. This is great. This is actually easier than what I was doing past few years. So we are going to pick the first option, A1, ISO A1 841 by 594 in millimeters. And that is because you have to do this order. You have to pick this A1 with the larger dimension first, or if you were printing in certain places, it doesn't come out correct from the plotter. And like at Mohawk College, they used to charge you for 2 sheets, which was like $16 a sheet times 2. So this is crucial that you pick 841 but 594 first. Now, as soon as you pick this imperial size, you have to go back and make sure that we work in inches and that we are 1:1. So in other words, we're taking the A1 size sheet, but we are making sure that we are working in imperial. So we have monochrome that we will alter later, but at least have a monochrome. And for the purpose of my exercise, I'm going to go landscape. And I'm going to hit OK. This is perfect. Okay, so what I have now is obviously a wrong viewport. So I'm going to simply delete this viewport. For the purpose of having pickable corners, I'm going to make new view, and I'm going to simply hit enter. Once we pick enter, and by the way, I created it in wall, so let's undo. Let's do it right. Let's go to layers and see if Nico has a viewport layer. Viewport, he is all organized. So I'm going to make that viewport layer current, close it, and in this I'm going to type it mview, enter, enter, which creates a viewport in maximum printable space. I do not want to worry about my grid display. And now the next thing I will want to do, I'm going to pause for a moment. Every now and then I still have a cold and I have to clear my throat to be able to talk. Okay, so let's turn the grid off in model space. I'm going to click inside the viewport and I'm going to turn the grid off and go back to paper space. And now I'm ready to I've removed the viewport, and now I want to copy this. I'm going to teach you something that we talked about last Tuesday, which is of great use and great importance. In paper space, I'm going to pick a scale command, and I'm going to pick just lines of the title block with window. I am going to also pick this line, just so I am sure that I have this last corner. Scale. Now select objects, enter. Base point, I'm going to, with O snap on, make sure you can zoom up closer. Whoops. ZP. Okay, let's do it again. Scale. I'm going to pick up all of the items in my title block, plus this line, enter. So it's very, very important that we pick up this point accurately, but we need to see where we need to go. So you see, if you don't know the scale factor, then you're kind of fudging it. So what I'm going to do is guide you to, notice here, you have an option for R for reference. I'm going to type in R for reference. And what AutoCAD is asking you now is specify reference length. So it knows the base point, and it's asking me, okay, what do you want me to measure? So we're going to pick up our title block. Now AutoCAD is saying, what do you want it to be, basically? Specify second point. If I pick my viewport point here and hit enter, nothing happened. So my video is, oh, what did I do? Did I do it in the inside? No, we have to redo this. Undo, undo. I'm going to do it again because something has gone wrong and don't know what I did wrong. So let's try it again. Scale. I'm going to take everything this time, the entire title block, hit enter, specify base point, R for reference, specify length. I think we need to pick up this point again. And then new length. Yes. Okay, so now I know what I messed up. Okay. And enter. Now I've done something that I would hate to lose, so I'm going to say File, and I'm going to save it as something else in my subdirectory. So I've got to go to DD3, and I'll call it Nico 204. I'm going to say A1 just so I know that that's the one that I've just created. Okay, so this is working out fantastic because all I have to do now is we could potentially scale down. Okay, scale down this viewport by just simply taking grips and placing them where they need to be. Perfect. Now enter zoom extents. My viewport needs to also be fixed so it's not interfering with my title block, which is done. I've done chunk that I would hate to lose, so I'm going to say save. And what has happened is I have a perfect title block. So here I'm going to now simply override my text to be A1. I am going to say green residence proposal. I see that Nico has not used the instruction in making the single line text to fit. So we can change it, but we can't make it fit. So let me say, let's try it. If I go to not edit, but if I pick this text, you see, if you follow my instructions, you should have 2 grip points, correct? So if I say, give me properties, and I will make it bigger. So for my title block, I want it to be height. He's got 7/16, so 8/16 ½ inch. Let's say I'm going to make it 1 inch. How big is that going to be? Okay, so this is exactly what happens. If you don't follow this single and justify, you want a larger text, but it flows beyond the space that you have. So let's see if I can go to properties and change the justify as well. It's justify left. Okay, I want it to fit. Perfect. Even teaching, I'm learning something every day. Look what I'm going to do. But what I must do in order to be correct here is make sure that my ortho is on. So symmetrically to the other side, if I place this here and enter and click, I am getting somewhere. But I'm going to make it even better by moving my text slightly lower. Now one could work with better fonts, but let's say that I am happy, except this now doesn't look very good, so I am going to delete this. And I'm going to use something that I taught you in my earlier tutorial on title block, and I'm going to simply copy it and then click on the text and change it to, see what happens to the text, A1 plot layout assignment. Very professional. Maybe I will, oh, assignment, and click. So assuming that you can fix all the other issues here, this text, again, I would change it to, from left to justify, because what we need to say here, to fit, what we need to say here is as noted, because we are now going to have different scales. That's the whole purpose of this exercise. Okay, so I'm going to save, and now I'm going to click on my viewport and say, okay, I'm going to use standard scales, and how can I lay out this sheet to present it well and to include possibly as many drawings as I have in my project. So I'm going to keep this viewport. So I'm going to go back to model space, because basically what I need to do is organize the sheet and have some more viewports. Maybe the good thing to do is to have some equal divisions. So, or I'm looking at the site plan. What if I was to say make view, and remember you can make as many views as you want, and I will pick this corner and go to this corner, and I'm making another view. Inside this viewport things look ridiculous because now I have two viewports there, but I want to go inside this viewport. Now I'm inside that particular viewport and change the scale to 1/8 of an inch, so double the size of the scale that we've used for title blocks. So I'm looking for 1/8 of an inch. Going blind here. 1/8. Okay. Now panning carefully, I see that this just might work for me. So what I'm seeing in the background, and unfortunately Nico used yellow. We're not supposed to use yellow, Nico. We can't see. So maybe I'll fix that, this simple fix in the layers. I see that my site in 1/8 of an inch fits nicely with where Nico placed this vertical line. So the layout looks good. So I'm going to save this, go back to paper space, and select this viewport. What I need to do is now bring it in. Site plan is ready. A little bit of a title here, 1/8 of an inch scale, and site plan is ready. So now within this viewport, how about dividing it into two equal spaces and having site plan and elevations? Or another thing, maybe I'll copy this and see if it will fit that plan. In larger scale, no, it won't. No, so I'm going to go with plan 1. I'm going to draw a line in paper space from here to here, enter, and then enter again for another line and look for midpoint. But it's picking up my, so okay, I'm going to do it a long way. Pick this point and this point. Now enter again, and we should be very particular, picking point from here perpendicular to here. Enter. Now I don't need my diagonals. All I wanted to do was to divide this to perfect midpoint. Oops! Oops, undo, and save. Now I'm going to type in view, enter, and not to fit, but pick these 2 points, enter. Click inside of this viewport and change the scale to standard residential scale 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. And now a little bit of fishing would be required to see my elevation. I already see side elevation will be too small. So I'm not changing the others yet. Now, if you can't find your stuff, then zoom extends. Okay, we are awfully close. Now, for the purpose of this A1 size plot, you can do exactly what I'm doing, because the learning here is learning viewports, learning beautiful layout. So you can do exactly what I'm doing, but keep in mind that your final project will have dimensions, and what I've done here would not work for me. But I am happy with the plan. I'm going to save, just so you can see better in this video. I'm going to do what Nico has not supposed to do. I'm going to change this to red, and I think his walls are red as well, yellow. Okay, so we'll make them red because I will make those lines the darkest. Okay, we're progressing nicely. Back to paper space. Pick the viewport, the last viewport, and stretch it to this point. Go inside it and fish. So this is actually a better way, as zoom extends and fish for the elevations. Now, for the purpose of my exercise, I'm going to print here the 2 front and back elevations because they're narrower. So, okay, now that they're in the center, when I change the scale, they will pop up in the center. Okay, okay, let's keep our fingers crossed. You know what? This is just pure luck. Okay, this is just pure luck. Cool. I am cool. So save paper space, and all you need to do now in paper space, you could copy note. You could copy the notes. You could make the standard bubbles. What we need to add is that this is site plan scale 1/8 of an inch, main floor plan 1/4 inch, standard residential scale, front and back elevations 1/4 inch scale. As far as I'm concerned, I'm happy. You could probably jazz up your notes. Maybe we'll review this. To do this, you would go to Annotate tab, and you would go to Text, and Nico has Standard, Roman, and City Blueprint. We talked about under title block recording, you should always create new. I called it bold for my bold numbers, and OK, highlight bold, and fish for Swiss Family Robinson. Swiss. And I like the second one, and apply. Now, you don't have to set it even current. It is applied to my file. So what I could do is simply click in paper space my my number, and a couple things will happen because Nico didn't use fit. Different font will stretch differently. So we'll do 2 things. We will go to right-click Properties, and we'll change, just so you see why the fit is so good to use. We'll change it to bold. Well, we got lucky, but it should also be fit. And now with this fit, you can, I'm going to escape again, because with that you can, stretch it so it's 100% perfect the way you want it. With this, it's a very easy fix to change maybe our font for, let's make this bold as well, and now the font is bigger, but it got kind of, let's call it, squished. And I say that this is pretty good. I don't like this font. I really don't like this font. It is a great font for dimensions and texts. So let's just simply make that one style also bold. And I'm not happy here either. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is good sometimes. Layout. A1 layout assignment looks much better. ISO A1. Okay, that would be really good. ISO A1 layout assignment. Okay, I think you're understanding this now. Save. And last but not least, many of you are still having problems with publishing versus printing. So what I'm going to ask you to do for this assignment, which will be due with your final, will be to create A1 plot and then ArchD plot. So let's now do the ArchD. Oops, escape. ArchD. In ArchD, what am I going to do? I don't like this title. This is why I don't like it, because my viewports are going to overlay with the bubbly lines, the one big mess. So in order to have a good line here, we can test that creating a view. We are in current layer is, let's go home, and current layer is viewport, so that's good. So let's make a couple viewports. MView. So let's say on this drawing I want to create, and you see this is my dilemma here. So I'll go from here to nearest here, near, and pick a viewport that will kind of have proportions of site plan. So let's say I'll do site plan that on most of your projects shows floor plan, and then a couple elevations on the side. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Go inside again, turn grid off, and change the scale to, let's see what we can do. Let's see, 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch looks good, and I have a little bit of space, so I could make that viewport smaller. So maybe here I'll do 2 side elevations. Good. Okay, paper space. I could potentially simply drag this to near, maybe like so. Go back inside, pan a bit, and I'm happy, so I'm going to save. Paper space. View. I'm going to pick this precise point, and here I'm going to try to project this point down and click. Pan so my side elevations are in the center. Change scale to standard 1/4 inch. And remember not to worry about the existing garage. Now I'm laying it out so the 2 drawings kind of lined up in some kind of pleasant layout. So I'm lining up property line with the ground line and cutting a little bit of the garage, but showing back deck. Perfect. Perfect. You'd hate to lose it. Save. So paper space, and you can play with these attributes by clicking one at a time, and here I will say A1 and so forth. You can fill out the rest and save. And now the most important thing, we're going to publish instead of printing. So we have all of these layouts, but for assignment of A1 plot we want to print only A1 and ArchD. One more thing. Let's try highlighting these viewports, both of these viewports, and changing its property to height plot. So so this layout under shade plot, under here is hidden. The plan is, and I haven't tested it, this semester anyway, but I promised you I would, so we'll test it now. We'll do the same thing for this viewport. Enter and close and save. I just want to double check whether it got saved. Properties, hidden, okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go to File, and remember, not print, publish. We're going to publish. You can call it sheet set, and you can the most important thing here is that you have to be in PDF, so make sure that I think the default at Mohawk is different, so make sure you're in PDF. Automatically load so you can see what happens. You can save to memory stick. You can save the sheet set called something. And the most important thing here is picking out what you want, what you don't want. I don't want your drawing. I want ArchD and nothing else. So I'm going to delete all of the other plans, and I'm going to go in order ArchD or A1 plot, or you can go the other way around. That's up to you. And we simply publish. Include plot. I have my standard stamp. Publish in the background. Open when it's done. Perfect. Let's give it a try. Green project Nico 2 for A1 PDF. Yes. Assignment outlines. No, I'm going to go up to DD3 and just throw it loose in the subdirectory. Do you want to save current list of sheet sets? It's up to you. I'm going to say no. Your printer is working in the background, and what we found out in lab is that you kind of have to close this before anything actually is going to happen. Now it's happening in the background, and we've asked for it to come out automatically, and you can see that something is happening. So we can be patient and wait for it, or we can attack that subdirectory, DD3, and wait, and something has changed, so I think we just got it in. And of course I forgot what we called the name. It should have Nico in it. Green Reservoir Nico 2418 PDF. So it did not, although I requested for it to pop up automatically, it didn't. So let's double click on it and cross our fingers. I think it's not opening because it's still working on it. Okay. I'm impressed with myself. Awesome. So this is A1 size plot. The second one will come out slightly smaller. So the first plot is going to decide on the preview that I will see. So maybe it's good if you do A1 first. You see what I mean? When we go to the next page, oh no, it made it also big. But height plot has created the invisible viewport, so that worked. But there's something that I forgot. When I was doing this plot, I did not alter the plot style table. So it's not monochrome, it is whatever AutoCAD had as a default. So there is one step that you would have to remember to do in order to get a better plot, and I have messed up something with the drawing number. Seems like you have to delete the number first in order to put the attribute in. So you know what, the video is not all that long yet. Let's close this one. Let's go back to AutoCAD and let us go to ArchD plot, right click, page setup manager, modify, and let's take it even step further. You see how it says none. I have asked you to do monochrome, but what we're going to do is, no, maybe let's reserve it for another recording. So the next step here will be to actually assign colors. Okay, let's play with just red. I am going to click on all colors. Oops, hold the shift button and highlight all the colors. And they're all blue. I'm going to go to line weight and make it thin, like 0.1 thin. Then I'm going to click on just red. I'm just going, for the purpose of this video, change 1. And I am going, those are large sheets, so I'm going to go with, let's say 0.6, might be a little bit too thick. Let's try 0.5. And now save and close. And I have altered my monochrome. What you should do, you should actually save as my monochrome, because I have just altered my monochrome. So you should actually say save as, and you should call it my monochrome. And then save and close and select my monochrome. And there's a little, it's more involved because this is saved on Mohawk College lab, so if you do line weights at Mohawk, you will not be able to get them again. You can save them on memory stick, but then you have to kind of find that very complicated path to where it needs to be put back on. So I would suggest you to do line weights at home if you have a computer, and if you don't have a computer at home, just do it. Commit a couple of hours to create these plots. Once you have the perfect PDFs, you have them. Okay, so let's try it again. File, publish, not print. And all of my settings are here the way I had them before. I don't want Nicholas drawing. I want A1. I don't want site, basement, main, roof. I just want A1 first, and then ArchD, and publish. Publish, I'm going to override it with the same DD3 with the same name. It's going to say, do you want to override it? Yes. And in order to do it, you have to close your test PDF first. No. If you're planning on doing a lot of them, then you might want to save the sheet set. Now we'll go back to Explorer and wait for a little shake. This is probably still old. So as soon as the screen does a little shake, we're going to get a new file saved, and then we're ready to open it. So I'll give it a couple minutes. Maybe not a couple minutes, you'll get bored with my video. 12:09. It is 12:09, so I think we're ready. We didn't get the shake. So A1 looks fabulous, and I have not changed line weights in this file, but it used monochrome, which I've altered, so I think my walls have automatically become thicker, which is good news. And this one, I got my problem again. So I will pause and try to figure out what is causing this problem. Maybe I didn't save the file. I'm going to pause for a moment. And okay, so we're back in AutoCAD, and I've tried just about everything. So something in this ArchD template, because I don't use it, I don't like it. Now I know why I don't like it. I don't have control. So what I've been doing is I'll say print, and I look at preview. All of the settings in both files are exactly the same. So we'll do this in college, and I wonder whether it's something hidden in the template. It must be. So the plot preview for my ArchD template comes up color, but my technique for not showing viewports has worked. A1 plots, I have gone, so I have to escape this. Cancel. A1 plot, I have gone and compared all of the settings for Page Setup Manager, plotters, printers, monochrome. They're all the same settings, and yet when I go to plot, print, preview on my A1, it comes out exactly the way I want it. And by the way, I changed A1 to the red color to 0.7. So there's few settings and fine-tuning with regards to line weights and colors that I'll have to test again, and I'll get back to you. But for this particular exercise, we are looking at laying out these two sheets. So that has all worked magnificently. So I think the few things we'll play with in labs this week, and we'll continue into the next will be dimensions, setting up annotations and dimensions, and the last but not least is those line weights and making sure everything is coming out thicker, thinner, and not in color. So thank you very much. I will look forward to your fantastic PDF files. I might create a separate Dropbox folder, just like with title block, where I will be just evaluating just you laying out the sheet and making a larger A1 size title block. Okay? Thank you very much. I'm going to stop now, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock today, doing the same thing.